Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Papaya Pod, a McLaren F1 podcast. I'm your host, Jimmy, and once again, I've got another great guest for you this week. She's a big McLaren fan across all the racing series, a bit like Keith last week, loves her motorsport. We talk about that and the journey she's been on. She's been to a few races, had some amazing experiences, got some really cool stories, and there's stories behind the stories and meanings behind the stories as well. We had a great chat and yeah, really enjoyed this one once again, and really excited to get this one out and let you guys hear it as well. So without further ado, here she is. It's Aimee Proctor. Hello, Aimee. Thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate you coming on.
No problem. Hi, Jimmy. Hope you're all good.
Very, very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks.
Good, good. God, there's a lot to talk about. We will get to it all, I'm sure, after another controversial weekend.
Indeed.
But we will start where we always start. Why are you a McLaren fan?
Starting with the difficult questions, I suppose you thought there'd be an easy answer.
There
And I
often isn't.
suppose, yeah, there isn't really. So I think I kind of grew up watching F1 because it was just on the telly. I don't know when I started to become a fan. It was in the background, and at some point I moved away and I carried on watching it. Um, but I was sort of more of a driver girl, I suppose. Um, you know, supporting the Brits, for example, that type of thing. I was about giving away my age now. I was about 16 when Jenson joined the grids. So like, young British driver, not much older than me. So I supported Jenson. So I was a Jenson fan, right?
World champion.
Indeed, yes. That was a good year too. Um, so then I supported Jensen, you know. Um Lewis came along. Um I'll touch on some of that later, but I remember, that GP2 year that he had, saw some of like, that move where he overtook two cars at once, three abreast, you know. So by the time Jensen went to McLaren, Lewis was there. Lewis and Jensen at the team together is, I think, what kind of cemented me as a McLaren fan, right? Um, Always liked them. I remember who doesn't remember the Mika days. I loved that livery. I remember when the livery had like David and Mika at the side,
Yep.
and then David and Kimmy. Remember that, but really, I think I was kind of, you can't call it full Papaya because we weren't back to Papaya by then, but full McLaren from 2010 when it was Lewis and Jensen, and I never went anywhere else. Um, you know,
You
by
weren't
the
tempted to
time
follow Lewis to Mercedes
by
then?
the time Lewis went to Mercedes, I was like, no, I'm invested in this now, and I was Team Jensen in the first place anyway. Jensen left. Yeah, by that point, we were McLaren fans. We were invested, and it didn't matter who the drivers were by that
Yeah.
point, or where they went. So that was God, how many years ago?
It was a few.
15? Yeah,
It was a
15 years
few.
ago. Yeah, so
Yeah,
I'm
no, I
not I'm
love
not
that.
sure I'm quite a long timer yet, but yeah,
No,
certainly been through the ringer.
yeah, absolutely. There's been some ups, some very, very low downs, and we're back up again currently. So, yeah, we've been
Yeah.
through it all. No, that's great.
Yes, that's my story.
I know a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, a few people followed Lewis to Mercedes, obviously. But that was great. That's a great story like yourself. So sometimes you just get invested in a team. I know not everybody feels that way. They're all driver, but yeah, that's brilliant. That's pretty much how I was with Mick Hakkinen. But I won't tell that story again and bore everyone because I've told it far too many times. When you've obviously been to a few, or at least one race I know about, but I think a few, right? Am I saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So when was
It
your
becomes
first
an
race?
addiction. My first F1 race was 2006.
Okay.
So that was Silverstone. My first few races were at Silverstone. So I'd say that's kind of like where the Lewis thing came in,
Yep.
because he had a good race that year in the support race, and it was the first on track overtake that I remember, and that kind of blew me away, and you get the bug and that type of thing. So yes, I was there supporting Jensen in my, I think, BAR Honda merch. It's the
Oh,
only, yeah,
wow. Have you
sorry.
still got it?
Um, I may still have it. It may not fit, but
You still got it.
but
That's
yeah.
awesome. I love that.
Um, yes, that was my first race.
Oh, nice. Nice.
So
Speaking of races, obviously the big one we can talk about. I'm gonna say what's your favorite race you've been to, but I reckon I can probably
well,
guess. Oh, it might not be. I could be wrong. Okay.
yeah. You were about to reflect on the most recent one I went to,
I
I think
was indeed,
probably.
yes.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn. Um,
Okay.
because I was there in 2008 as well.
Right.
Um, and yeah, so in 2008, very randomly at the last minute, I got tickets from somebody who won them. And the tickets were in the Vodafone stands, right? So
Right.
there was basically there was a grandstand that was full of McLaren fans. Um, and yeah, so that was the first time I supported McLaren in person.
Wow.
And I'm
2008.
torn, right? I'm torn between which is my favorite race that I've been to, and
Okay, so the one
you
I
know,
was referring to, for those that don't know, Amy was at Silverstone this year and was in Lando stand and got to see Lando win his first British Grand Prix. That's why I was thinking that. But
yeah,
I understand you saying 2008 for that experience as well. That must have been pretty special.
yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah, it was amazing, and why I mentioned like 2008 is because when you're there, and like you have the atmosphere, you can hear the cars, you can smell them, you see your driver winning, and I remember how that felt then.
Mm,
And I think it kind of like fuels the addiction, and it's why you keep going back, because you want that feeling again. And this year is when seeing Lando win his home race in a grandstand full of McLaren fans or full of Lando fans. Um, it was the same, it was that sort of feeling. So that's why I wanted to mention the 2008 thing, because I'm like, this year I got it back. Um,
yeah,
and it's like we've we've been all over the place watching F1, me and my other half, and the two best experiences were both like an hour down the road.
that's crazy.
But it was amazing. It's
There's
hard to describe, really.
something special about the British Grand Prix as well, isn't there? It's the one I get excited about most each year, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I think the crowd is always so mixed as well.
Mm,
I think the crowd at Silverstone is quite is informed the right words. They like to see a good race.
yeah,
Um, some of my favourite moments haven't included McLaren drivers, British drivers. They're there to see racing.
and just appreciate a
Yeah,
good drive, right?
but to see Lando winning, to see McLaren winning again after all those years, that's something special. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what was your first impressions when you walked into Silverstone this year, into Lando stand, seeing all the fluoro everywhere?
It was like um, you, I couldn't have imagined just how much effort like Team Lando or LM4, or how much effort they'd gone to, and how much they'd thought about. So you may have seen the grandstands wrapped in
Yeah.
the like the the LM4
Yeah.
um the blob
The blobs. Yeah.
wrap, yeah. But and I know Gary mentioned this the other week, but like everything was in that kind of fluoro yellow blob
Yeah.
stuff. So even the cups, the containers that food came in.
Yeah.
There was the giant deck chairs.
Yeah.
There was you had those, the umbrellas, like everything. It was, yeah, it was quite something.
Amazing. Did you meet Gary while you were there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of videos of him dancing as well.
Amazing.
Um,
For those that don't know, Gary was on a few episodes ago, episode three, maybe four, I'm not sure. He's one of the team leaders at Silverstone, and he went a little bit viral, I think, across TikTok for being the dancing man at Silverstone, bringing the atmosphere. Amazing, and he's such a nice guy as well.
yeah, indeed. I'll share a couple of my the videos that I took on Instagram and stuff, so you can see. But yeah, but when I did meet Gary, he took the mickey out of me because let's just say I went to the bar. I was getting us all drinks and I got us all cans and I used like all my pockets to fit all the cans in, and I come back looking like I don't know how to say it politely, like some sort of like camel or something with humps everywhere. And he was like, "Well, what are you doing?"
Just went to get supplies.
Yeah, yeah. So that's when I met him. Yeah,
Nice.
what a good guy though.
Yeah, amazing guy. Yeah, really good fun as well, and certainly the best. I couldn't think of anyone better to have been the leader at the grandstand, the Lando stand area. That's for sure.
Yeah. And just, talked about how the setup was, the stands being wrapped, all the decoration, but the atmosphere and the vibe of the place was amazing. There was a separate like DJ setup, from like I was dancing stone cold sober at like 10:30 in the morning to YMCA or something like that. It was just the atmosphere there was incredible. And I
That
wasn't
sums it
sure what
up.
to expect, to be honest. I thought that it might be full of obsessive Lando fans. But it was a real mixture, a real nice atmosphere.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's one of those, isn't it, where it was so new. Everyone had high hopes for it, but you just didn't know how it was going to be or how people were going to take to it. But it certainly seems like it was a massive success and is going to be there again next year.
Indeed it is, yeah.
Plans to do it again next year?
I don't know. I'm undecided. I've persuaded a friend to come with. Well, I don't think she needed persuading, to be honest. So we're in the process of deciding which stands that we're gonna opt for. It might be down to whether it's sold out or not, to be honest.
I think they
Um,
go on sale. I think it's Monday, isn't it?
yeah, there's all these different rounds, but yeah, Lando stand is Monday.
This
Yeah.
Monday coming.
So,
So yeah, yeah, it's gonna be. I just worry because of the way the race went. It's one of those you just worry. Don't get me wrong, it's still going to be incredible, but for those that were there this year,
yeah,
it's going to be very difficult to top that whole
yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Um, how did you feel? I mean, you're obviously team. We touched on that. You're team over driver now, but have you got a preference when it comes to drivers? Is there anyone which can't get my words out. Is there anyone you would prefer to win the Drivers' Championship at this stage?
Possibly. So I started off the season obviously just wanting McLaren to carry on as they left off,
Yep.
and wanting a McLaren driver to win the World Championship if they could, etc. I
It's almost definitely going to happen.
Yeah, I put money on Oscar. Um, when I say money, I'm talking £2, but the odds are pretty good. Just because I kind of like to be able to prove that was right, you know?
I actually said the
Um,
same at the start of the season. I fancied Oscar to do it. I didn't put
yeah,
money on it, but yeah.
yeah. However, um, the thing that annoys me, mildly irritates me a little bit is when, when people say, oh, Lando's not got it in him. Um, that really winds me up. So it's almost like I'd rather it, we're talking slightly, um, but I'd like to see him win it to prove those people wrong. Um, don't get me wrong, like I'll be celebrating on Oscar World Championship with everyone else. But I also think he's got more than one in him as well.
I'm with you.
I think if Oscar doesn't win it this year, he'll win it another time,
Yeah,
whether it's with McLaren or not. Dare I say it? But
I'm with you.
I
I
think,
think he's got more time on his hands, and he's so far ahead of where he should be in his career. Um, in the amount of time he's actually been in Formula One, it's quite incredible, really. I'm completely with you there, and I think it's okay. Listen, we can be team over driver. That's fine. I am.
yeah,
I would love to see Lando win it this year for that same reason as you. I think Oscar will have many more chances, but also I think it's okay to say I've got a little bit more of a soft spot for Lando just because he's a British driver. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. So people shouldn't feel bad for having that opinion because
yeah,
I think I do favour Lando more so because of that. And if I had to choose, I think if I was being honest, I would rather see Lando win it this year. But that's not to say I don't like Oscar because I do. I
yeah,
absolutely love the man. Um, the other thing you say, people almost to keep people quiet, let's say Lando hasn't got it in him. The issue we have, especially with recent situations,
yeah.
is those same people will say, well, Lando had it handed to him. You had the Oscar penalty in Silverstone. You had the pit stop last week, which had to change positions back. It is such a controversial thing, but let's go back to Silverstone first, because that's where I wanted to go back to after asking you a question on if you had a preference with regards to the drivers. How did you feel when the news come across that you were in Lando's stand, that Oscar was getting that penalty for the braking under the safety car?
I Because of where I was, right? Because I was at Silverstone, um, I I wanted a Lando win, right? It's his home race. I'd
Yeah,
want the same for Oscar in Melbourne, right?
yeah,
Um, but I just I wish that it was on track. You know, he was closing on Oscar anyway. That gap was closing, I remember. I I wish it wasn't the way it was. It
yeah,
just puts that slight um bit of negativity into it. I wish he'd done it on track or had,
yeah.
and even had the opportunity to do it on track and then do it on track. Um, because he I mean, it was a whirlwind, right? But I don't think Oscar closed in on him very much afterwards. I think Lando pulled away then.
Yeah.
So,
I'll be honest with you, I was sat at home watching it and I jumped up and down. I was so happy. Like you say, it was the British Grand Prix, it's his home race. It's the one he desperately wanted to win. Equally, I would have loved to have seen Oscar win the opening race in Sydney. Don't get me
yeah,
wrong, Lando won
yeah,
it. That's great for McLaren. But given the choice, I would have loved to have seen Oscar win that. And I'm hoping that next year in Australia, Oscar wins already, regardless of who wins the World Championship. I just want to see our drivers winning their home races, and then the rest of them they can fight out between them, right? Next
yeah.
year, I'll probably want to see. I would like to see Oscar win Monaco because Lando's done it, and so it's not. I'm not fully all in on Lando
It's
and not
hard,
Oscar.
isn't it?
It's just right now I would love to see Lando win it because of reasons that we've already touched on. But I think that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. What annoys me is all this craziness that you see
Yeah,
across the socials, right? I watched the race
absolutely.
back Sunday. I couldn't watch it live because we were out with the family all day. So I got home, put it on. As soon as that happened at the end of the race, I thought, I am dreading opening my phone
Yeah.
because I knew what I was going to see. And I stupidly replied to one message and I shouldn't have done, and I didn't really get into it with them. I made my point and then I sort of cut it off there, but I need to get better at ignoring those sort of things, which I'd normally do. It was just I'd read so much nonsense, and I don't know. I guess I just had enough of it. There's no favoritism. There's it's it's the McLaren principle, right? Andrea Stella
Yeah,
talks about it all the time. It's the McLaren way. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do it fair. And I understand Oscar fans might be a bit annoyed because of a slow pit stop. If Lando had pitted first, which he could have done because he was leading the two drivers, if it was a wheel gun issue and not a wheel issue, and Lando had had the quick stop and got away, and Oscar had had the slow stop, he would have finished that race fourth.
yeah,
It's all ifs and buts. We don't know.
yeah,
That might not have happened. Who knows? But at the end of the day, both drivers seem fairly happy with it. I don't think Lando wants to win like that. Or not win, but you know what I mean. Beat his teammate like that. And obviously, Oscar doesn't want to give up a place like that. It is a racing incident. I understand that. So it is, neither driver's happy with that. And I'm pretty sure the entire team weren't happy with it. But they made the
no,
call. They've got their principles. And I think that's, we should all know by now that's how the McLaren team roll. And we have to respect that. And
yeah. It is like I'm with you on it. I actually, after the race on Sunday, think I saw the podium. But I turned off after that because I thought, oh God, I don't want to see all these debates. Should they, shouldn't they? For how many points? Three.
yeah,
Can't
exactly.
do my maths then. Um, yeah, I didn't watch it. This the conspiracy theories, like they absolutely drive you mad. Even when there isn't a controversial moment like this, there are theories out there about one thing or another.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think, you know, social media has done, amazing things like for the sport.
Yeah.
Um, I've certainly, got a whole other like, friendship group, like race buddies and stuff like that through socials. But that is definitely a huge downside.
Unfortunately, like you say, it's great for so much, and it's probably a lot more positive than it is negative. But when the negative ones come out, my God, does it flood the place? And yeah, it's not a nice place to be after a race, especially when there's been a bit of controversy. It's yeah, not a very nice place at all. But, I keep banging that drum. There is no conspiracy. There's no favoritism in the camp. It's just not a thing. So people need to just stop the nonsense. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And you know how we know this is because one week it's one side saying one thing, and the other week it's another side saying another thing. That's how we know there's
Yeah.
definitely not.
Yeah.
Um,
This is the thing,
yeah,
isn't it? And
yeah,
listen,
incredibly
you got your
frustrating.
die-hard Lando fans and your die-hard Oscar fans, and that's great. And I love that those people are out there. I think it's brilliant. I have no issue with driver fans. That's absolutely fine. But just don't be an idiot. Simple as that. Just don't cry about things that are in your head that aren't actually happening. Don't get drawn into so much nonsense we see. I saw a page of issues that Lando has had with his car, and apparently Andrea Stella's come out and confirmed that these were. No, none of this has happened. Someone's written something, posted it, and it's just got so many shares, everyone's taken it as gospel. It's absolute nonsense. So yeah, I'm sure that won't be the last time I say that. I've said it so
Yeah,
many times.
yeah. Sadly not. And there'll be bumps along the road this year. For the rest of the season. A driver will have a bad day. A driver will, someone might benefit from, I don't know, a safety car or something like that. It's not a conspiracy, just how things happen.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Speaking of Going to events, I believe last year, just after we won the constructors in the final race of the season, you popped along to see the sign and celebrate with fellow McLaren fans at the MTC, right?
Yes, we did. And well, I tell you what, when we arranged that, we thought it was like not guaranteed that we would win the constructors and be there at the sign. But we thought there was a good chance that that might happen. And um, and then, well, the race didn't quite go as planned, did it?
It didn't quite go as comfortable as we would have liked, put it that way.
Yeah, that was tense, but yeah, really nice idea from one of our friends within um McLaren group going, what do you know what? Why don't we just find a pub in Woking and let's watch last race together. And the sign might be little if we win. Um, you know, so that was really cool. And I mean, I know you know, I've never been to the MTC, I'd never been past, never seen the sign or anything like that. And when we kind of, entered entered that, I mean, you've been there before, haven't you?
Yeah,
Entered the roundabout, and I looked, and I was like, oh my God, it's lit up. My heart jumped, because the race was so tense,
it
you know,
really was. It really was.
and it was almost like once the championship had been won, there was a bit of, did it really happen? Like, we did get enough points, didn't we? Um, and then we were like, oh, well, quickly, we better go. Yeah, seeing that sign up was amazing. Like I said, I'd never, I'm that bit too far away to head down there on a Sunday evening, really.
Yeah,
After a race win, but that saving it for that one was pretty special.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I go past it probably maybe once a month, once every 2 months, but perhaps I go past the sign um, over the past year or so, I would say. And I've only ever seen it white until last week. It was Monday or Tuesday last week. I
Yeah,
drove past. If I'm in the area, I always purposely drive past. Gives you just a weird feeling. Just that sign alone, right?
yeah.
It sounds pathetic for those that haven't seen it. Oh, it's just a sign. What you get all excited about? But there's just something about it. It's just magical. I don't know. It's really weird. It's like seeing a Disneyland sign as you go into
Yeah.
Disneyland. It's
I think it's very special and also very clever that McLaren have the tradition to
yeah,
light the sign up after a win.
yeah.
Um, I don't know, there's something really special about that, isn't it? Oh, that's the sign, and it's the sign that's lit up.
When I
It's
went past it last week,
yeah,
it was like as I was driving around the roundabout, I was, oh my God, it's Papaya. So I quickly spun in. I was like, I've got to get a photo. I turned around, got a photo. I was just
yeah,
staring at it. I sent a picture to my other half, and she was like, I don't get it. Why are you sending, why are you excited? Well, she just didn't get it at
yeah,
all, bless her. But yeah, I got stupidly excited. I still don't actually know why it was Papaya last Monday or Tuesday. I have no idea. Um, yeah, don't know. Maybe I need to ask someone. There's got to be a reason of some sort.
yeah. I'm not going to get my calendar out and try and work it out. I
No.
tend to go off on one
I
and
know it was Bruce
you know,
McLaren's birthday recently, but I don't think could have been that. I think that was the week before. I'm sure it
uh,
was. Can't remember. I'm not sure. I should Google it. There must be a reason. But yeah, it was the first time I'd seen it Papaya anyway, and yeah, I got stupidly excited. I'm 41 years old, and I got excited about a sign changing colour.
was it
That's
not? Hold on, was it not Oscar winning in Zandvoort? Was it?
no, I think it was last week's. It was after Monza. No, that
Oh,
was this
okay.
week. That was this week.
It
Yeah,
was
it
this
must have
week.
been.
Yeah,
Yeah, it probably was Oscar winning then.
yeah.
Gosh, yeah, that's me getting all my. I'm all over the place with the days. I'm thinking it
I'll
was.
tell you what, my over analytical mind needed to know the answer to that, and I
Yeah,
would be
no,
best
I
with
think
something
you.
like
Yeah,
this.
it wasn't this week. I'm thinking it was Monday just gone. It wasn't. It was last week. So you're absolutely right. It would have been Oscar winning in Zandvoort. Yeah, absolutely. There we go. You've cracked it. You've cracked the case. Well done, you. Yeah,
Something
that's
special
me.
about it.
That's me getting all confused with my days. I'm all over the place. What's your favorite piece of McLaren memorabilia that you own? I can see you've
Yeah.
got a few bits and pieces with your shirt on and the hats and the bear
Yeah,
behind you.
well, that was a bit of a last minute thing. I tried to hang my flag up, a flag. I've got a few. I tried to hang one up and it fell down about 10 minutes before I joined the call
Oh
because
no.
I stuck some caps up there. But so th those two are quite cool though. So they're not the answer, by the way. The white papaya one.
Is that the
Um,
narrow? Is that an indie one?
Yeah, yeah. So that is my other half bought it me for my 40th and I went to the 500. So it's signed by the drivers that were in the race.
Oh
The
wow.
one next to it's from the London E-Prix. And
Yeah.
so that's like signed by Sam and Taylor. Um but I'm not like a massive merch person really. I'd kind of if I'm going to spend my money, I want to go to a race, you know. But I told the story before, so I've gone for this one.
Okay.
This will have been. Sorry for my camera moving around.
No, no. So for those only
Um,
just listening, it is the red Vodafone
the
McLaren hat with Lewis on the
Lewis,
side.
yeah,
Amazing. With the silver stripes down the sides.
yeah. It's
I
a little
remember that
bit
very well.
faded. It's been worn a lot. Like I said, I wasn't a massive merch person, but that was so. I said in 2008. I watched the race from this Vodafone bandstand thing
Yes.
that I got tickets for at the last minute. And those were given out, um, you know, on race day, basically.
Nice.
And because obviously, like I said, I wasn't full McLaren by that point. So that'll be my first piece of McLaren merch, and I think it doesn't happen so much anymore because of what's it called? You know, like who calls it the track? Someone I know calls it the track tax, and where
Oh,
merch prices are hiked up track
yeah.
size. But I think there's something quite special about buying a piece of merch at a race
Yeah, I'm with you.
that I don't really do anymore. So yeah, it took me a little while to think about it, to be honest. I was like, what's my favorite piece of merch? But I thought, do you know what? That was um that was the first McLaren win I saw. It was the first time I kind of watched a race and supported McLaren because that's where I was. So yeah, I think yeah, I mean I asked Rich, my partner, and he was like Lego straight away. It's like all the Lego. Because I was after a bit of inspiration, but I've gone for a little bit of nostalgia, to be honest.
I love the story behind it. That's the thing, right? To anyone else, that's just a red McLaren hat, right? But it's got so much more meaning behind it. I love that. To you, it means so much more than just it's just an old red Lewis Hamilton McLaren hat.
Yeah, but also special shout out though to the Thai water.
Tire water. Personalized tire water bottle.
Yes, thanks, Kerry.
Nice.
Yeah, my friend made us one of those. So
Very nice. So sorry, you just said that you touched on it briefly. Did you say you actually went to the Indy 500?
yes, so this was a couple of years ago.
Right.
Um, what year are we in now? 2023.
Okay.
So um, so it was everyone's gonna know my age now, but it was for my 40th, and
Okay.
I had gone to I went to Monaco for my 30th.
Wow.
Um, we did it on the cheap, by the way. I'm not loaded.
Shh, you don't have to tell anyone that bit.
Yeah, so after we did that, I always wanted to say I want to go to the 500 for my 40th, and then obviously McLaren entered a team, and yeah, yeah, and then that's history really, and so
Amazing.
yeah,
Keith was
that
talking
was
about because
amazing.
Keith went to the Indy 500 this year.
Yeah,
I mean, he said it was an amazing experience. He recommends anyone doing it. I guess you feel the same, right?
yeah, yeah, definitely. Um, it's it's very hard to describe, but Americans they do stuff big, don't they?
I was literally, you took the words out of my mouth. I was about to say Americans aren't known for doing things by halves.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, that was an amazing experience. The um the res not the result. I didn't mind Joseph Newgarden winning, but I can still see Pato and Felix clashing out, like you know. So, but that happens. It's the 500. I'm sure we'll get another winner one day.
Have
But
you got any plans to do it all over again?
possibly. Um, I well, I mean, I'll get there again one day. Um, I went to Portland last year because after
Oh,
doing
okay.
that, I wanted to go to a normal race. Because I'm an IndyCar fan, it wasn't just a one-off. So I might go to another kind of, I might try a street course next time, perhaps. So
Nice. You said about
yeah,
your other half. Is he into his racing as well then, or is it just a case of he's going
yes,
to follow you around the
McLaren,
world?
McLaren fan too.
Good. Oh, we should have got him on as
Converted
well.
him.
We could have had a joint episode.
He wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't. But yeah, he's a McLaren fan too. So that's really handy and handy. It's convenient.
So
But
that's why you're with him. Okay, now it makes sense.
I suppose why we've been able to get to a few races as, because we've made it part of a holiday and that
Amazing.
type of thing, you know.
Yeah, no,
It's
that's
sort of in
fantastic.
it's not a race or a holiday. Like the race is the holiday sort of
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah, it makes sense. Two birds with one stone, right?
yes, indeed.
And you also went to the Formula E as well this year, didn't you?
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you are just a motorsport fan in general.
Yes. And to be honest, with Formula E, I'd kind of tried to watch it before, but really it wasn't until McLaren entered the team
Mm,
that it kind of gave me a purpose, So,
yeah, you're more
someone to
invested.
cheer on. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and enjoy that. I like being trackside, to be honest. I'll be
Mm,
at Silverstone this weekend, because it's the Elms race, the European Le Mans.
yes.
Yeah. Um, yeah, it's my happy place being at a racetrack, right? Even better if McLaren are running and there's some papaya to cheer on.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
but
that's brilliant. I love that. I know Keith's just a massive motorhead himself as well from last week. He'll go anywhere there's cars racing, basically, a bit like yourself. So that's brilliant.
yeah, and also I think like the more races you go to, the more different series you watch, you start to recognize the names and the drivers, and you know teams will enter multiple series, so you
Mm,
start recognizing a bit more as well.
yeah, no, that's brilliant. Yeah, I love that. I do love that. I want to get into IndyCar.
Oh,
Hopefully
definitely.
next season, under the season's finished now. Hopefully next season I can get into that a little bit as well. At the moment it's just all Formula One and stuff. But yeah, I do need to make more of an effort with other series as well because
Yeah,
yeah, like you say, it's other angles of it. You can certain things like the Formula E, obviously you can get a lot more access to parts of the tracks and the drivers and everything else as well, which is really awesome. So yeah, I definitely need to get into more of the racing other than
yeah.
F1.
I think I definitely yeah recommend IndyCar. It feels like there's a little Sunday evening community of
Mm,
people that text in and ask questions, that type of thing. So you should try it next season. If there's something you're not sure about, then I don't know, tweet or use threads or whatever it is you prefer to use. Message Tom Gamer a question and he'll answer it on the broadcast. So,
amazing. No, I definitely need to get into that next year, 100%. What would you say? Again, this could be an obvious one. It could not be. What's your standout moment of the season so far in Formula One, of course?
um, do you know what? I should have apologized at the start of this because I'm so undecided. Um, I think, I think I am going for the Lando Silverstone win. Um, but yeah, to be honest, it was like some of the other races where we've got one twos, I was trying to stand back and think, because the penalties slightly tainted it,
Hmm.
there was perhaps more perfect races that we've had this season. So I think the Austria race is a close second for me
Yeah.
because Lando won that after the Canada incident, and
Yep.
he had a great race, but no, in years to come, I'll be looking back at Lando winning at Silverstone, won't I?
That's the
And
memorable one. I mean, you were there as well. It's going to be very difficult to forget that day.
yeah, I'd love to, be asked in, I don't know, 10 years' time or something. If you have me back on in 10 years, you
If
can
we're
ask
still going in
me.
10 years, one, it
Yeah,
will be a miracle. Two, we'll definitely get you back on.
yeah. You can ask me what my favourite race is that I've been to and see where that is.
I
Yeah.
reckon people are going to be fed up of hearing my voice after 10 months, never mind 10 years. But we'll do our best. We'll try and get there. Or
Not
maybe
the
we,
case.
we could get you on a bit sooner as well. We'll just save that question for 10 years' time.
Yeah, but yeah, I would love to, in a few years look back and see where this season ranks
Hmm.
races. Yeah.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting to see how it plays out. There's a lot more racing to go yet. It does feel like it's Oscars to lose, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? At this stage, it still could go either way.
Yep. I said before, I mean, I'm incredibly obsessive about some of this stuff, but I did a spreadsheet last year, so I could put predictions in, so I could go like, oh well, if this happens in all the other races, what might it look like? So I've been playing around with that, and something really has to go wrong for it not to be Oscars.
I think so. So your prediction was Oscar, right? You said that at the start. Yeah, well, I've got a funny feeling you could be absolutely right. But yeah, we will see. We will see. I think you might have already answered this, unless you throw in another sort of curveball.
Sorry.
My next question was going to be, who are your favorite all-time drivers?
Oh God, that's a tough one to be honest. I don't know. Genuinely, um, I think that in the early days of me watching F1, I was trying to like reflect, before I came on here. Um, and I'm like, I only remember the controversy. I only remember the bad bits, from the 90s, like, early noughties and stuff. Um, like Jensen brought me over to McLaren.
That's
Is he
who I
my
thought you
favorite?
were going to
Is he
say.
my favorite driver of all time? I don't know because seeing Lewis's performances really gave me the bug. So I'm really struggling to answer. And again, I'd I'd love to know, like in a few years' time, whether these guys will come into it. And it's too early to say.
Yeah,
Lando or Roscoe. We don't know what they're going to do. One of them should. I don't like to jinx things.
will. It's
Um,
happening. One of them's
yeah,
winning.
yeah, but yeah. So I think in a way it was probably like Lewis that fueled my addiction. But I've not followed him to, I didn't follow him to Mercedes. Don't get me wrong, I have wore this cap when he's won races with Mercedes, and
We'll allow that. We'll allow
I've
that.
been known to take it out of my bag and put it on when he's got onto the podium and stuff. Um, yeah, it's a really tough one. Um, so I think I can safely say I don't really have a favourite.
We'll
Um,
go with Lewis is
but
up
it's
there. We'll
but I
ask you
think
that
I
again in
think if
10
I'd
years
have
as well.
yeah, if I had to pick, I'd probably have to say Lewis if I'm honest.
I'm going to make notes
Um,
in 10 years' time. Ask Amy these
yeah,
questions.
yeah.
We'll go with Lewis.
So
We'll go with
see
Lewis.
what the answer changes to. It's
We'll go
really
with Lewis, but it's
changed.
not concrete yet.
Definitely a team goal.
Team girl, yeah, I love that. That's great. Uh, have you ever met any of the drivers, Formula One drivers?
No, not any of ours. I'm afraid. Not any of ours. I've only no. So I mean, I've met um IndyCar drivers
Hmm.
and like FE drivers, but um not McLaren F1 drivers, no. Um, if I was in the same room as one of them, I'd probably just hide in a corner and not really know what to say. You know, if I'm with a particularly confident friend at that point in time, they might try and get me to have a photo or something, but no, not yet, I'll say.
Not yet.
Yeah,
There's
you
still
never know.
plenty of time,
Yeah.
especially with the races you've got lined up. There's still plenty of time.
Oh,
Um,
cool.
Amy, this has been brilliant. I've got one more question, which I always end on. But before I do that, I just wanted to thank you again for coming on. I love your stories. I love how things have got meaning behind it. Like we said with the hat and stuff, it's not just a hat. There's a story behind it. Absolutely love that. I love the experiences that you've had. Thank you for sharing them all with us. I really do appreciate you coming on and doing this. Um, but my final question is, again, you might have already answered it, maybe not. What is your all-time Formula One moment?
See, now I've seen a few of these podcasts now. So I knew you were going to ask me this question, and I wrote a whole list of favorite moments.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, but you're right. 2008 Silverstone is on that list. Um, so oh, so tough. Right. I'm gonna say this quickly so I don't go on and on. Um, my favorite on-track moment that I've seen, this is at a race in person, is actually not a McLaren moment. But you know the bit, you know it in 2022, you know the through goes Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, heard it a million times, haven't you?
Yep.
That was right in front of me.
Wow.
That was like, you know, when you're like, I can't believe I've seen this with my own eyes, and how lucky am I? So that's actually up there in terms of pure racing.
I can respect that. Yeah.
Yep. Um, for emotion, I've got when we qualified P2 and P3 and then got a podium in 2023 after so many years, so many races, full of like DNFs and no point finishes, and
Yeah.
we were really back then, right? You know, so that's up there. But yeah, I've gone with the 2008 moment because that I think that's the race that kept me coming back.
Mm.
You know, that race has cost me a lot of money, I have to say.
The bug gave you the bug.
Yeah, it's tough though, and also if Keith hadn't have said this the other week, um, the Abu Dhabi win would have been up there as well, getting the constructors.
Yeah.
But
All great answers. Can't
yeah,
actually argue with any of them, to be fair. They're all great answers,
all for different reasons as
all
well,
for different
which is
reasons.
what makes them hard to choose a favorite moment.
Yeah. No, that's great. Um, Thank you so much again, Amy.
No,
Honestly, it's
thank
been
you so
great.
much. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having me on. Really enjoyed following this. The last, how
Bless
long's
you.
it been? Month or
I
two?
think this is
Following?
episode 6 now, I
Wow.
believe. Could be
Yeah,
7. I
yeah.
think it's 6.
I've genuinely really enjoyed listening to
Thank you.
people's stories, their journeys, and kind of brings people together. People will
Yeah.
start, you know, interacting on some of this stuff. That's how I've got to know people as well. Just
I hope so because it's like I was explaining to Keith, like me doing this was never about me. It was about other people and you guys coming on and telling your story. It doesn't matter what it is, whether you're a team leader of Silverstone, or like Gary is, or yourself, a fan that's been to loads of races, or you could be a fan that's never been to a race. I haven't been. I went to qualifying when I was a kid, I believe, with my dad many, many years ago. I can't even remember it. I was that young. But right now, I haven't been to an actual Formula One race, which I'm hopefully going to put that right next year. So it doesn't matter what level of fan you are. It's just about
also,
coming on and telling your story, and that's what this is all about. And like you said, it's about connecting people together and I've met some amazing people that I never would have met had I not had started this. And I hopefully people that haven't linked up yet. I know the community's massive and a lot of people know each other. But if you haven't yet, hopefully something like this can bring those
Yeah,
people together, and that's what it's about for me. So,
yeah,
yeah, anyone who wants to
absolutely.
come on, just do it. Come on, we'll have a chat. It's there's nothing to worry about. It's not you're not a less of a fan than anyone else, or your story might my story's not going to be as good as someone else. It's not about that. It's going to be different, and that's fine. Everyone's got a different story, right? A different journey. So,
I'd agree with that because I think at one point I could see in in this little community everyone seemed to know each other. Like I
yeah.
got invited on a phone call and everyone knew who each other were. I was like, how is this? And now here I am. I know loads of people.
And
So
that's the beauty of
you're
social
absolutely
media,
right.
right?
Yeah.
That's the great side of social media. That's the side we need to promote more of. So yeah, Amy, thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Guys, another great episode. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. I've been Jimmy. That's been Amy.
Thank
And
you.
until next time, never stop racing.